Okay. Good.
Good evening. Welcome everyone. Hope you're enjoying this great October weather. We have a nice audience here today. With the regular board meeting called to order at 6:04. Do roll call. Jim Anderson, present. Dr. Falvo Lang,
Here.
Maria Hickey,
Here.
Jennifer Moth,
Here.
Arlene Smith,
Here.
Cindy Sutter,
Here. and
Dan Sutter here. All right. We have one of the very rare moments where we have no one to honor for in memorial. So we can relish this moment. So moving on. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting held September 27th.
Falvo Lang.
And a second.
Smith, second.
Any additional revisions or corrections? With none, all in favor of approval of the board meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Or say nay. No abstentions. Minutes are approved. So now in recognition of retirees, Connie Bolton, or just retirees.
Good morning, board, or good afternoon, board, I should say. We don't want to go today. I'm very pleased this afternoon, we have 3 retirees that we will be recognizing. I'm going to call their manager and the retiree to the podium. First, we have Diane Sidwell, our manager of transportation, and she's going to be recognizing Ann Dearman, who was a bus driver for over 20 years.
Well, we want to thank Ann Dearman for 20 years of service and driving the big yellow bus. She's much more than the 20 years of waking up in the early morning hours, starting and ending her day in the darkness. Her commitment that it took to balance her work and life, managing the split shifts all those years. We always say the bus staff is the first and last board employee to each family and students see each and every day. Ann represented the board very well. She cared very much for all the families she served over the 20 years. She went above and beyond for her students and the family, and she made a difference in so many lives. On her bus, with her coworkers, at the bus garage, volunteering when there was opportunities, reading at the school. And one student that she knew loved the police department. She was very instrumental in setting up Officer Lamar Sharp to come to South End and visit that student. And you can tell by the picture that made that student very happy. So we're going to very much miss Ann. She started every morning out with a very warm reception, a friendly smile, and I just want to say that I wish her nothing but the best in the next venture of the life. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Tammy Nady, and she is the principal at Eastgate School, and she's going to be recognizing Regina O'Leary. Regina is a classroom assistant at the preschool, and she's retiring with over 30 years of service. Regina, do you want to come forward too?
Regina has actually been in the developmental disabilities field for over 35 years, 32 of them with Start DV. We've been very fortunate. Within our agency, the majority of her years were spent as a workshop specialist too, in classrooms for our more complex adults, and was located at 3 different facilities that we ran at one time. And this includes her first assigned location, which was at Eastgate, when Eastgate had a workshop program within its building. So when she came to preschool, she kind of came full circle. Regina was also responsible for running one of the community senior programs that was at J.R. Coleman, and she worked for a period of time as a community job coach as well. But for the last 5 years, we have been fortunate in preschool to have Regina's creativity and energy within our SNARP-PD preschool program as an intervention specialist assistant. Her teacher today said that she's not talking to her because she's mad at her that she's leaving. Because she has been a wonderful teammate for this teacher and a true support to the teacher and the workers. We will definitely miss Regina's enthusiasm, her computer and communication skills, but how she celebrates the success of each student, no matter how small that achievement may seem. Regina truly, genuinely has a love for and a dedication to our adults and our students, and wants to make sure that they have the best lives possible and that they receive the best care possible. And that is what I miss the most when Regina leaves us this week. We wish you all the best, Regina. I'm going to read it because I don't want to cry. I wish you would just want to say what an honor, a privilege it has been to serve so many people over the last 32 years. Big and little, young and old, each and every one of my beautiful people has touched my heart and made my world a better place. After I graduated college, I planned to go to law school, but the Lord had better things in store for me. I thank Him every day that I have the opportunity to form lifelong bonds so that with so many wonderful people. At the Stark County Board of DD, I have not only found a great career, but I found a family. You guys are just wonderful, and I'm going to miss you all so much.
We'd like to recognize Ken Bates. Principal at Southgate, Genesee Claire will come forward and recognize Ken, who is also an intervention specialist assistant, but has many, many years of experience, including in the workshops.
So Ken came to us back in 2018 in the school program, after having been at the workshops as a specialist 1, a specialist 2, and also as a job coach in supportive employment. We were a little bit nervous bringing in a adult services guy to the school program because that's quite a different philosophy that they have in adult services than in the school programs, different expectations, different environments, all of that. So we weren't quite sure. I remember sitting in on his interview because he did have to interview for the position and thinking, well, this could be really good. You know, big guy, great in our high school, or this could be really maybe not so good. Unfortunately, we made a great decision that day. Ken was an enormous asset to the program from day one. So we started him out with what we thought was a natural fit in our community education department, working with our high school and transition students, taking them out into the community, but it was a natural kind of segue from his job coaching. And as we suspected, he was a great fit for that, did a wonderful job, kind of transitioned all of those job coaching skills to working with the students. But that turned out to be just kind of the tip of the iceberg for Ken, because I don't know how carefully Ken read this job description, but at the bottom, it says, my favorite line is the principal, other duties as assigned. Ken gave great meaning to other duties as assigned because anything that would come up would be like, well, we can ask Ken Bates to do that. And so Ken Bates got pulled in for everything from running students home when they were sick and mom or dad didn't have transportation, to taking recycling to the recycling center. Pretty much anything that involved driving a van for the first couple of years, that was Ken Bates. But he is an excellent van driver. But what I really like about Ken aside from how personal he ended up being for us and for the students, was just the amazing patience that he has with all of the students, young and old, no matter what their situation was, what their behaviors were. I would never want to play poker with Ken because nothing. He absolutely showed no reaction to anything. He was just as calm and as patient as he could possibly be, whether a student was 6 or 13 or 20, no matter what they were presenting him with. Ken never changed. His reaction was always the same, just very calm, very cool. I'm sure there were times, I know for a fact, there were a few times when he got a little frustrated, or a little put out, but the people who never saw that were the staff and the students that he was working with. So Ken was just a blessing to us, and I wish we could have had him longer than the 5 years. I still keep trying to tell him that we will always welcome him back in the building as a sub anytime he wants. I'm going to keep checking in just to make sure that he's not getting bored in his job one, right? And wants to add some time back with us. But really, Greg, thank you so much for the 5 years that we had. It was wonderful. The kids will miss you. The staff will certainly miss you. And I will miss you. Thank you.
So on behalf of the board, we'd like to thank Anne, Regina, and Jenny for their dedicated years of service and wish you many years of happiness and retirement. Thank you. Now we'll move to a presentation on diversity and inclusion. So,
Hi all. Can you hear me?
There we go.
I am Holly Thomas. I'm an intervention specialist at East Grade, and this school year marks my 27th school year with work.
My name is Shulene. I've been with the board for 20 years. First 5 years as rehab counselor, working with the individual in the day program, and the next 15 years as SSA, working with family, individual, and guardian.
My name is Ed Daniels. I'm an assistant transportation supervisor. I've been with the board for 7 years.
Tonight, our DEI, which is Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, would like to tell you a little bit about our background. That is that we started meeting for the first time over a year ago. The committee was formed as a result of feedback and suggestions that we received from employees during focus groups that were conducted in the middle of 2020. The focus groups were facilitated by Tamika Taylor from our Compass Consulting. We first worked with Tamika in 2017 and 2018. She provided our employees with sensitivity training. Because of this established relationship, we decided that we could ask Tamika to get some Compass Consulting to partner with us with our DEI committee. The picture you see here is of our committee members at our October 4th meeting. Employees are from all areas of the agency are part of our committee. Also, we would have some committee members that are here in support this evening that we'd like to acknowledge and thank. As a committee, we defined several key words. We decided these definitions would build the foundation of our committee.
Turn it on.
Oh, sorry, I haven't shown you that. Okay, first up, our vision statement. Our vision statement really describes the direction that we are going and what our desired outcome for our DEI committee are. We want to build an
inclusive workforce that values diversity through education, representation, and advocacy.
Diversity, coming together across a variety of stories and recognizing all differences. Having a range of people with various racial, ethnic, socioeconomic, and cultural backgrounds.
Equity. We pretty much know equality, which refers to equal opportunities and the same level of support to everybody. Equity is one step further. We understand that each individual is unique, and each individual, what they need for success is different from others. So we should build trusting and respectful relationship with each other, and meet people at their level, where they are, and giving them tools that they need to be successful. That way, we're able to achieve a greater fairness of outcome.
And lastly, inclusion, my favorite. Our community defines inclusion as a sense of belonging by valuing all cultures and abilities and embracing individuals with dignity and respect, which happens to be one of our core values. This applies to our coworkers as well as those we serve. Everything we do leads us back to our mission statement, which is supporting choices and creating opportunities for people with disabilities and their families. We hope to come before you again in 2023 to share our progress from here until then. Thank you, and are there any questions? Thank you for your time.
Thanks for community work that Bonnie will continue to do to encourage diversity and inclusion. Disability Employment Awareness Month. It's a pair of them. I'm honored to introduce our ambassadors.
I'm going to introduce Morgan McPhilby. She's supervisor in the SSA department, and she can start off our presentation this evening.
Hello, everybody. Happy Disability Awareness Month. That's what October is, so that's why I'm here today to talk to you guys. I, like Lisa said, I oversee all of the employment services in the SSA department. And so I just wanted to give you guys an overview of kind of the different employment initiatives that we have. So right now we have 285 of the individuals that we serve employed in the community. 92% of the people that we have employed indicate that they have enough support to be successful in their jobs. And you'll see some of our previous ambassadors popping up on our little map of Stark County. So I'll let them cycle through. Okay, and we do have some very interesting things happening here in Stark County. I head up a employment collaborative with several different agencies in our county. So we have, of course, us, Stark DD, some of our providers, TWI, Goodwill, IES, OOD, which is Opportunities for Ohio with Disabilities, is in that committee as well. DODD sometimes sends a representative to sit in our meeting. You Belong and Coleman are all part of our committee. Some of the things that we do, we will host job fairs to help individuals find jobs in the community. And we recently started having a job club because when COVID hit, we stopped having our job fairs for a little bit. And when we jumped back into it, we realized that right now everyone is hiring and our people aren't really having as much of a difficulty finding jobs in the community, which is amazing. But a lot of our people were having difficulties maintaining their employment. And so we started this job club to help them keep those skills to maintain their employment. And we also try to connect employment leads to individuals that are looking for employment.
We also have another collaborative with one of our providers, Syndrome and Opportunities for Islands with Disabilities, and it's the EPIC program. So EPIC stands for Enduring Practices Integrating to the Community. Essentially, this is an internship for some of our individuals at Albany Hospital. They get to try out different jobs within the hospital. They get to build their vocational skills, and by the end of it, hopefully they end up with a job at Albany. This month, we wanted to launch something new. As part of our strategic plan, we want to recognize employers that are out in our community employing our individuals. And so we wanted to recognize this month Soul Pie Pizza. So if Lisa and Alan could please come up. I wanted to present you guys with this plaque. So thank you for supporting a diverse workforce. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Did you want to say anything?
I don't have a whole lot to say. We appreciate being honored for this. And when I hung up the phone, the first thing I said is, I don't know why Drew's not getting the award, because he's the one that comes in and does all the gross cleaning for us. So, yeah, it's an absolute honor to employ him and to be a part of this community.
Thank you guys so much.
Good evening, I'm back, and this is what you're used to seeing me do, is telling our story. So I am so excited to have 5 ambassadors here with us this evening. And so we're going to call you up one at a time, and we're going to start with Ann. Ann Zimmerman. So this is Ann, and she currently is employed at Taco Bell. Yes. Yes. Would you like to say a little something about your?
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann, and I work at Taco Bell at both days, very close to my home. And I'm shipping my day and cleaning dining room and the restaurants, and I did it also in video. Like, and where I got stuff, I did baseballs in the dining room. I did like several, I think it's a raw, I think I stuck in a raw, then hold on. This is kind of like the, this is behind the Taco Bell. Very good.
And when you, how often you work?
2 days.
2 days a week, and when you're not working there, where do you go?
I go to a day. I'm called Clearview.
And you're practicing cooking there, aren't you?
Yeah, cooking and sometimes I go out for coffee, but that would be today.
Well, that's it. You told me, what are you guys gonna cook tonight?
Come, what they're gonna make is mommy meatloaf,
Mommy meatloaf.
then she's potatoes.
Awesome. So thank you very much. We appreciate you sharing your story today. And so we have this gift for you.
Did you see your billboard?
Thank you, Ann, very much. Congratulations. Tell you, it was very fun when she saw her billboard. Now you have to know, I have nothing to do with picking where the billboards are located in Stark County. And up pops a picture on my text message, and it is a picture of Ann standing below her billboard, and it just happens to be like right near where you go to your day program, right? So she pulled up to her day program, and there she was. So she was very excited. Okay. So next we have have my friend Corey. Corey, you want to come up here?
Yep.
Yes. Corey Benetham. Hello, you look so handsome tonight. And Corey has been part of Start DD for a long time. You graduated from Southgate School, right?
Yep.
And what do you do a ton of things right now, but first of all, where do you work?
Right now, I work at a local Wendy's in Dalton, Ohio. I help with the drive-through, dishes, but dynamo maintenance, wash dishes. And on Wednesdays, I work at Midwest. Then on Wednesdays, it's workshop. Also, Mondays and Tuesdays, I help with the mayor's office at St. Maslin. And then in Maslin Police Department, in the fire department. The mayor's office, I help with shredding, help with the fence, clean up in the police department, the court. The police department, I help with the events, the wedding, most of this. And fire department, I help with the fire inspections, respond structure fire. I have a lot. And also attend to the memorial service for the 1975 fire explosion in fire was killed. So I'm gonna attend to that. So
You're very passionate about safety. And not only do you have all the uniforms, but what do you do here at Start PD?
I first started volunteer at Southeast School. We back up Louisville School.
Rebecca Stone? Oh, Full House.
Yeah. Got in touch with me and she offered me a volunteer. So I helped the school clean up, help with students.
Thank you for this.
Every once a month, I attend safety meetings on my phone, on my cell, on the WebEx. We talk about safety and talk about injury.
And you give great suggestions and you look out for the students and the staff and make recommendations of what you see, don't you?
Yeah.
Go to the Start PD Safety Committee.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate all that you do. We appreciate your hard work. And to say thank you.
Thank you.
Showed up. Next, I would like to introduce you to Ms. Alyssa Sutter. Alyssa, and I think her SSA, Kirsten Bond, is going to say a little something.
So I have worked with Alyssa for about 5 months now. And in that time, I have learned that she is a very determined young lady who will rise up to any challenges that may come at her. She started here with Start DD, attending day programs and trying to find that right fit and provide employment that she would enjoy. And her previous SSA actually recommended that she participate in the EPIC program, which she did. She successfully completed the EPIC program, and now she is employed by ABN Food Services at Oakland Hospital. Alyssa, do you want to tell us something you like about your job?
I like to work at ABI opening because it gives me the going in the morning and then I come home and then I lay down because I'm so tired. And they keep me busy all day.
What's your favorite thing?
Um, I like pooping out on the jello, but not the I don't like doing the grapes.
I would like to say thank you very much for telling your story and sharing your story. I know you were nervous to get your picture taken, but it was awesome. Look how great your picture turned out. Next, we have our friend Robert Wright, and to introduce him is his SSA KCY, and he is here with his, are you going to come on to his provider from LifeBridge? So Casey, do you want to introduce him just briefly?
So I'm Casey Wise. I've been working with Robert for some time now. He's always been so accepting of me. New patient. So I'm honored to introduce you guys to Robert Wright. He is welcome. Way
What,
to give you a little bit of his history because Robert has been working for a lot of years. Robert was 65 years old and he has been working a long time. And I'll tell you, Robert could be standing up here with 30 or 40 years of service under his belt. But what happens is Robert works somewhere and then they shut down. Then he goes somewhere else and then they goes and then he goes somewhere else. So he's going to tell you some of the places he's worked in for how many years.
My name is Dr. Gray. I work at Honduras 19 years.
Ponderosa for 19 years.
And another one is Danny, and 11 years.
Then it's for 11.
And that's the same. They're working,
Here, you've got the name there at the golf course there.
working the same, the stuff we did, some working job, and things. Have been working in about,
What do you think, about 3 years?
3 years. 3 years. And we're working the job, and something, and, like, spending, like, floor, and something, and like, floor, and mountain floor, we did.
Floors, what else do you do?
Yeah.
Have you been a dishwasher in all of these jobs? Yeah. No trouble getting a job as a dishwasher. Now, Arrowhead is a seasonal job, so this is Robert's last week there, and they'll close. He just got a brand new job, and he's not sure the name of it yet, but he knows that it's a college, right?
Yeah, going to the town of high school college, between. It's fine,
Walsh University. We have another gentleman here today that's going to be telling us about that. Yeah, he'll start that job next week.
Yeah.
Yes. For telling your story and your employment all those years. We thank you for the hard dedication and work you've done. Did you see your billboard?
And last but not least, Mr. Timmy Tedrow. Not shy enough coming up, but all the time. Hi. Thank you very much for coming tonight. I am so proud of you. Would you like to tell them where you work and what you do?
Okay, I've been with at the one cars for about 10 years. 10 years. I've been with I've been with a very long time. And and yeah, it's been I've been starting work here about I went to sheriff for two.
Yeah. So you do 2 days a week at Walsh.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, where you're an integral part of that team, right, in the cafeteria?
This room.
And then when you're not at Walsh, you're at Gentlebrooke in the greenhouse.
Yes, yes,
You are a hard working guy.
yeah.
What is your, do you have a favorite thing at Walsh?
Yes, yeah, yeah. I to do wash the dishes and to do so that the silverware and to stack the cups.
Awesome. And at Gentlebrooke, I know I read that you love to come home very dirty.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing at the greenhouse?
Good place.
Thank you. Thank you very much for telling your story. I am so proud of how long you have worked and what a hard worker you are in our community.
Yeah, thank you.
And I know, I'm not gonna even share the story of being your billboard. But I know that you went inside your billboard and got your picture taken with it, didn't you?
Yes, yes, I did.
Okay, here, we'll have you step over where Mr. Green can take your picture. So as you know, just a reminder, you can find all of their stories, not only on social media, but if you go on our website, on our stories, right now we have over 60 stories since we started this. So you can read some amazing stories about our ambassadors that we have over the years, including the 5 from this month. So thank you to our ambassadors. Thank you to the families for sharing pictures and stories. I couldn't have done it without you. And thank you, everybody, for supporting October Disability Employment Awareness Month.
Thank you, Lisa, for making this very successful. So, can get a little emotional here too. That's all. But on behalf of the board, we want to thank our ambassadors, Ann, Corey, Alyssa, my daughter, Robert, and our fan favorite, Timmy. I want to thank the families, their SSAs, and our employers, and all the support teams that work every day to help these individuals working in our community. And personally, I want to thank our SSAs, Courtney and Kirsten, for the collaboration and creativity they use to pursue opportunities for our listeners. Again, thank you to all our SSAs and teams that work every day for our needy individuals. So now we'll entertain public speaks. We have speakers today. I think we can move on to the president's report. So good evening again, and as we approach the end of the year, our board members who are unable to attend the all-employee in-service will need to complete 2 additional hours of continuing education to fulfill our requirements. Amityville will release a link to the training this week, which we should complete by our December 13th meeting. In addition, I'll have Katrina send out Bill's performance evaluation, and he should be filled out and submitted back to Katrina by December 9th. The collective thoughts will be compiled for us to review during an executive session at the December 13th meeting. And then looking ahead to the December board meeting, we'll be voting on a resolution requesting the Board of County Commissioners to allow us to go on the May 2023 ballot to renew our 3.3 mil levy. And as a reminder, this levy represents 2/3 of our budget. And we also know it's imperative that we pass this levy. And to conclude the president's report, I just want to give one more shout out to our ambassadors for their insightful stories and work with disability employment awareness month. Oh, and don't forget the Great Pumpkin Races this Saturday. This concludes the president's report.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are well. Again, it's a very special meeting each October. I want to thank everyone involved. I want to thank our Disability Inclusion Committee for being here tonight, as well as our 5 ambassadors and our recognized employer. We do very much appreciate your work in holding people with disabilities. It's also an honor to recognize our retirees, and we want to thank them for their dedicated service. So, yeah, this is help for good. And it's ultimately, it's help for good. As far as the updates, we do have a pre-accreditation survey on Thursday. So we will be testing the systems and the plans that we have made since our March accreditation survey. So it'll be a real report card for us, engaging our complete incremental progress. So that is Thursday. And Dan's already hit the the Great Pumpkin Race. We'll have over 600 people here, whether they're walkers or runners or spectators. So it's a great public awareness event for us. And it's also a way in which we raise money for Special Olympics. So if you are so inclined to come visit us on Saturday, it's going to be a beautiful day. At least send us well wishes, and if you have any influence with the weather, just keep it with us. I do want to note also the annual Ohio Association of County Boards Convention is November 30th through December 2nd. Anyone interested in attending, the first day, there will be Amy Acton, the former Department of Health Director, will be a keynote speaker, and there's also a board member track that day. Stay one day, stay just for a session or two, or save up your time instead of go up in Columbus. If you're so interested, and we will be so Dan kind of foreshadowed our December meeting. And so one of the biggest things that you as the board will do will be to approve us to go on the ballot in 2023. So I do want to kind of share some of the language that you will be seeing this coming December. Obviously, we have shared board projections with you during the board in service early in the year, and then also during the preliminary budget, we shared what our projections look like. And so instead of a 10-year, which we passed in 2013, we'll be looking at a 5-year levy. And the reason is that after 5 years, we do exhaust those funds. So we'll be looking at an additional levy in 2028. So that is the reason for the 5-year. So let's just put up on the screen now. All right. So this weekend, the levy language we will be looking to approve And basically reads a resolution declaring it necessary to levy a renewal of a 3.3 mil tax levy, beginning with the tax list in duplicate for tax year 2023. Boy, it gets boring quickly, doesn't it? The proceeds of which levy would be available in calendar year 2024, and requesting the Stark County Commissioners to approve this resolution and proceed with the things necessary to accomplish its purpose. So this is the first stage. Then, once this resolution would be approved, the county commissioners are the body that approves for it to go on the ballot. So they will approve the resolution early in January to do that. And we would be issued a issue number, if you want, 2 or 3. Our levy purpose is going to change from the 2013 levy. Actually, the language has been updated in statute. And so the purpose will be the operation of community programs and services authorized by county boards of developmental disabilities for the acquisition, construction, renovation, financing, maintenance, and operation of developmental disabilities facilities or both of such purposes for 5 years beginning. So it's slightly different language that we used in 2013, but hopefully it's simpler and it speaks to the operation of community programs and services, and that's the most significant change. And so when we look at days like today, it is really, there is another component, and that's what this is. It is about the funding of services. And that is one of our mandated functions. And this is how we do it. As indicated in this president's report, 2/3 of our budget will be at stake for this levy. Something also that is new with ballot language, there is now the statute that says you have to tell taxpayers the amount for $100,000 this levy will cost, and also the total cost. So for an owner of a $100,000 home, we'll continue to pay $8 per month, and that will be clearly identified in the ballot language. And then it will also say, with accruing a total of, and it will be around $35 million. That's how much money that this levy generates and how important it is for us. Our management team got together as we kind of look back over the decade, and we just kind of put some accomplishments together. We did it together, and we tried to put it in the simplest, non-jargony language, because we know our field is so filled with jargon. But we increased the number of people supported from 3,300 to over 4,000 people in a 10-year time period. We maximized the use of local dollars by securing more federal dollars, and we supported more people with the same amount of money. We provided lifelong funding to an additional 1,000 people, and that's probably the most significant accomplishment here. We provided lifelong funding to 1,000 people that they'll have over the course of their life. As long as they remain eligible, they'll have that for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60 years. We connected over 500 youth attending public schools and their families with the services they need every year. We provided services to 7,000 families who have infants and toddlers with delays and disabilities. And we safely transported students with disabilities over 5 million miles during this decade. So those are some key things in regards to what we can share with the citizens of Stark County as we approach our levy campaign, which will be operation in 2020. So these are some things that we'll be voting on in December. So obviously a very important vote. And if you have any questions as we go into December, please let myself know. Please contact Lee in regards to some specific things that you may question. But, yeah, it just kind of solidified us as a funder, a writer of the person-centered plan, and really a monitor of services as well, along with providing early intervention, preschool, and school-age services. That's what this levy is all about. So that's the superintendent's report for October 25th, 2022. And you have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, committee and department reports are in our report packet. Are there any additions or deletions? With none, we do not have any old business or new business this evening, so at this time, we'll have the policy play of the first reading.
Policy 2.08 confidentiality, which reviewed with no changes. Policy 2.12 incidents adversely affecting health and safety was also reviewed with no changes. Policy 3.04 hazardous communication program was also reviewed with no changes recommended. And policy 4.18 resolving discrimination complaints was also reviewed with no changes recommended. Nothing.
Thank you, Connie. Now we'll move to the two resolutions we have for this evening. Starting with resolution 105122, approves the board's expenditures for the month of September. Need a motion?
Thank you.
Need a second?
Anderson, second.
Thank you. Discussion from me.
Thank you. Good evening. Month of September, we had 165,000 in local revenues, 261,000 in state, and 454,000 in federal, giving us total revenues for the month of 880,000. Please note, we did not receive our second half real estate, which is why you see that huge variance on to the right. For the month of September, we had two payrolls of 1.6 million, total benefits paid of 231,000, and total other expenses of 850,000, giving us total expenses of 2.7 million. Our expenses did exceed our revenues by 1.8 million. Looking below with our carryover cash at 60.7 million, we had canceled 369,000 in 2021 purchase orders. We have 8.9 million open in 2022 purchase orders at the end of September, and a negative year-to-date financial position of negative 4.2 million, giving us cash at the end of September of just 48.01 million, minus our reserve balance of 10 million, gives us actual unencumbered cash of 38.01 million. Looking at our year-to-date budget versus actual, we have total revenues of 32.28 million, which is 65.68% of what we expect to receive this year. Total expenses of 36.5 million, which is 65.18% of what we expect to spend. Our target at the end of September is 75%. We still have yet to pay a waiver match payment that we'll see next month, or I'm sorry, during the month of December. Over on the far right, our available budget at the end of September is a total of 10.5 million, mostly made up of personnel services and unencumbered waiver match buckets. Looking at the prior year encumbrance report, this report has remained unchanged. We have 0 remaining in 2020 purchase orders as of the end of September. We had paid 397,000 year to date and canceled 369,000 year to date. Now looking at resolution 105122, you can see the two payrolls there that we had totaling 1.6 million. And then the week by week breakdown of the non-payroll expenses totaling 1.08 million. If there are no questions, requesting approval of resolution 105122.
Yeah, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. No abstentions. I am so approved. And you need the second reading of one policy presented at the September board meeting.
Policy 2.01, duties of the superintendent was revised. Language has been added that is from the Ohio Revised Code regarding the duties of the superintendent, along with language that specifies the authorization of funds for purchase, and the payment plans by the superintendent. Policy 4.20, the full-time, part-time category. Some employees was reviewed with no changes. Policy 4.22, policy against harassment, was also reviewed with no changes. And finally, policy 5.24, school age privileges, was revised. The first sentence of the third paragraph was revised to replace medical or behavioral challenges with intense, complex needs, and explaining that the board will accept referrals if the local school district is unable to do so.
And you, resolution 1052, and approval for board policies for second reading, any motion?
Entertained motion.
A second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the resolution, say aye. Or say nay. No abstentions. Board policies are approved. So as a reminder, there's no board meeting in November. The next regular board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 13th at 6 p.m. With that, any motion to adjourn?
He moves.
In a second?
He seconds.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned at 6:59.